A $5 million year-end bonus landed me a big fat zero, and the instant I quit, the company imploded. On the night of the party, the boss flashed $5 million in cash. Even the receptionist walked away with 100 grand. I was the only one who got nothing. He roasted me in front of everyone. This is for the people who actually deliver. Slackers can keep dreaming. I didn't make a scene. That same night I blocked every coworker and flew to Africa to watch lions. For 29 entire days my phone stayed dark, completely off the grid. The moment I powered it back on, the top headline was about our company. 10 million plus records leaked, the market cap vaporized 10 billion, and the boss was on his knees sobbing, begging the hacker to stop. What he didn't know was that the malware was a time bomb I had set before I walked out. 01. The ballroom's thermostat was cranked so high the mix of food, booze, and perfume made my head throb. On stage, Derek glowed red under the lights, his trademark beer belly leading the way, his voice booming through the mic until the ceiling vibrated. At his feet stood 5 bright red pyramids of cash, brick stacked, a full 5 million. This year we smashed every record thanks to every single one of you. He flung an arm toward the money, droplets of spit catching the spotlight. This pile right here, it's for the champions who earned it. The audience erupted. I sat in the back corner, watching like a detached extra in someone else's comedy. I'm the CTO and the guy who gave this place 10 years of his life. By the project split on that 5 million, more than half should have been mine. Derek started calling names. Marketing director 800 grand. Top sales rep 500 grand. Then a name I'd never heard, Blake, whom he dragged up like a long-lost buddy. Meet our hot new VP of engineering, Blake. Young talent, future legend. $1 million. Blake, the nepotism hire who can't read a server log, kept bowing and smirking, clutching the bricks, shooting me a sideways sneer. My face stayed blank. Next, Derek did something even the crowd didn't see coming. He waved up the receptionist Dylan. A 24-year-old knockout whose daily grind is signing for packages and ordering lattes. Molly, you've only been here 5 minutes, but you brighten our doorstep. Take this 10 grand and buy some new lipstick. Dylan giggled, voice syrupy, Ellis. She even fluttered her lashes at him. The room's atmosphere flipped. Every pair of eyes twitched toward me. Pity, glee, disgust, it was all there. I had become the punchline. A decade of wins trumped by one flirty receptionist. Derek finally looked my way, grinning pure venom. Some folks think they're indispensable, but they're just donkeys hogging the stall, plenty of grass, zero output. He paused, then cranked the volume. We don't keep dead weight, and we sure don't feed fossils allergic to change. Silence dropped like a guillotine. He piled on, tone oily, totally, Vaughn. AI codes better every day. Cling to legacy junk and you stall the whole train. His stare drilled into me the entire sentence, open challenge. I didn't spare him a glance, or Derek. I simply rose, and under the glare of the crowd, walked out of that nauseating banquet without a syllable. No shouting, no slammed doors. Inside me, everything was iced over surface calm, no ripples. Back in the deserted tech bay, I lowered myself into the chair polished by 10 years of late nights. 10 years right here, one keystroke after another, I'd written the arteries that kept this place alive. I woke my laptop, the printer purred, and a single warm page slid out. A resignation letter. I signed, the pen slicing across the paper, exact and final. The door creaked, Blake lounged in, arms folded, smugness dripping. So, Avery, finally bailing? I ignored him. Fine by me, he tapped my desk, but cough up the full source and root passwords. Company property stays here. I lifted my gaze, gave him a thin, arctic smile. Sure. Under his nose I hammered the keys, calling up a nested encryption routine. I baked in a fresh biometric check, core database maintenance rights now tied to my fingerprint. Every 30 days the system would demand my thumb, or it would flag itself under siege and slam the portcullis full deep lock, all data pipes frozen. I'd designed it as the last-ditch shield against elite hackers. Tonight it became my farewell gift. I tossed him a post-it with a random admin code. He pocketed it without even looking, certain he'd won. Letter in hand, I stepped into Derek's office. He was whispering something sleazy to Dylan. When he spotted me, his face curdled. I placed the letter on his blotter. I resign. He picked it up, skimmed, sneered, and shredded it. Resign? Be my guest. You can kiss this month's salary goodbye. Consider it damages for squatting on a chair you didn't earn. He jabbed a pudgy finger at the door. Get lost now. I nodded once, said nothing, and left. Outside, winter night air slapped my cheeks. I pulled out my phone and calmly exited every workgroup chat. One by one, I dragged 100 coworkers, managers, and executives into the blacklist. Silence. I opened the airline app and booked the red-eye to Nairobi. Then I posted one photo on social media, the city sky bruised orange at dusk. Caption, 4 letters Emery. Finally, I pried the back off the handset, slid out the decade-old SIM, and tossed phone and card into a corner trash can. 02. Inside the A380 first-class cabin, a flight attendant poured glowing champagne, bubbles racing upward. Far below, the city where I'd fought for 10 years shrank to a blurry smear of lights. Right now Derek is probably clinking glasses, bragging about next year's billions. Blake, freshly minted millionaire, is no doubt explaining how he'll re-architect the system I built, while sycophants applaud. I sip the ice-cold wine, any last irritation dissolves in my throat. We touch down in Nairobi. The humid wind slaps my face, thick with earth and leaf rot. No city stopover. My pre-booked safari is waiting to race me straight to Masai Mara. Tonight I'll sleep in a canvas-roofed lodge planted in the middle of the savannah. No signal, no television, my phone had long since become a paperweight. I slid open the French doors. Outside, the savannah rolled on forever. A small tower of giraffes tugged acacia leaves like they had all the time in the world. Out here, even time feels lazy. Back home, inside Von Tech, my disappearance didn't make a ripple at first. Week 1, servers hummed, dashboards glowed green. At the daily stand-up Blake leaned back and delivered his victory sneer. See? Rowan's nothing special. His relics belong in a museum. Without him we're spinning faster better. A few gray-haired engineers who'd followed me for years whispered that if Sterling had really walked, the building might tilt. He heard. Next morning Frank invited those engineers to a morale chat, then escorted them out for spreading negativity and sabotaging cohesion. Heads on pikes. The hallways went library quiet. Day 10. I sat in an open-top Land Cruiser watching a pride crouch in the grass, waiting to explode under a lone wildebeest. Raw, predatory, magnificent. For the first time in years my pulse felt synced to something honest. Across the ocean, the client platform hit morning rush hour and lurched. Hundreds of timeout errors struck at once. Support queues burst. He scanned the ticket summary without lifting an eyebrow. Reboot the farm. 90% of catastrophes vanish after a nap. They cycled the racks, lag dipped. He posted a selfie in the company group chat captioned, "Cool under fire." Crisis? Solved. Hashtag Noroa no problem. Derek dropped a single thumbs up emoji. Dylan uploaded a mirror shot with her new designer tote, another bright money day. I was kneeling on the roof rack, shooting the river crossing, thousands of wildebeest hurling themselves into the Mara, spray catching sunlight like shattered glass. Crocodiles slid between hooves, culling the weak. Nature's ledger, brutal, balanced, transparent. I clicked the shutter and felt the calm before the storm settle over me. It never lasts, but it's beautiful. 03. The 20th day after I cleared my desk. Kenyan sun, thick as honey, poured over the escarpment. I joined a Maasai bonfire, travelers from 5 continents passing beers and stomping dust into the drumbeat. Someone asked what I used to do. I clinked bottles. Locksmith. Half a planet away, in a glass tower that never slept, the temperature dropped to freezing. The admin dashboard of Von Tekka's cash cow application threw a full-screen scarlet banner, Security Core Countdown, 10 days. Below it, fine print, authorized admin must complete fingerprint verification before timer reaches 0, or highest level lockdown protocol engages. Every engineer in the room blinked at the warning like it was written in Martian. They tore through wikis, Slack archives, Git logs, no trace of a maintenance portal. What the hell is this? Rowan's Easter egg? Never seen it. He swaggered in, saw the timer, and the blood drained from his face. He barked to hide the tremor. Morons. If the door's hidden, kick it in. Brute force that pop-up off my screen. A junior engineer squeaked, Morgan, brute forcing might trip dash. I said do it. I signed the risk form. 3 minutes after they launched the toolkit, the PA speaker howled. Level 1 alarm. Finance, client billing, and a few side services locked their tables, every byte turning to digital gravel. Phones lit up with premium-grade outrage. Derek was buttering up a client across town when the call came. He nearly folded his phone in half. He burst into the tech pit and yanked Blake upright by the collar. Explain. You swore we were bulletproof. His eyeballs spun like slot reels. It's Rowan. Vaughn, he planted a logic bomb-timed revenge strike. Derek wasn't that far gone. A bomb that waits 3 weeks? Delayed payload. He sprayed spit. He calculated the fuse. Man's a saboteur. The instant Derek heard sabotage, fear overrode reason. He'd rather believe in ghosts than admit he'd promoted a clown. How long to disinfect? I need fresh iron, new firewalls, packet scrubbers, the works. Pricey, but I'll build you a fortress. Too frantic to haggle, Derek greenlit $2 million and told finance to cut the PO that night. Everyone with a badge was ordered 24 Cameron, cots, Red Bull, no excuses. He funneled the $2 million to rent a handful of gray market hackers who promised to route around the timer. Offices glowed like a prison yard at midnight. He stared at his monitor, forehead dripping on the spacebar. Every shim he injected, every line he rewrote, bounced off the core. The red digits kept shrinking, relentless, metronomic. Access denied. Permission revoked. Invalid scope. For the first time Blake tasted real terror, cold and metallic, rising like bile. 04. 3 days left. On the savannah a rogue thunderstorm tackled my Jeep. Raindrops the size of marbles hammered the canvas roof, a snare drum played by the sky. The world dissolved into gray static, every horizon erased. When it passed, the air smelled newborn, I breathed until my ribs hurt. I felt scoured, weightless, those years of insult and overtime sluiced off my skin. Rebirth is quiet, you notice it only after it's done. Von Tech, meanwhile, was drowning in its own downpour. The production database began auto-encrypting tables in rolling batches. Clients logged in to find balances frozen, portfolios unresponsive. Panic metastasized. A pair of institutional whales stormed Derek's office, slammed mahogany with fists worth 8 figures. Derek. Tens of millions are locked on your platform. Fix it by tomorrow or we subpoena every email you've ever sent. Derek bowed until his spine cracked, promising miracles. The moment the elevator doors closed he sprinted to the tech floor, face purple. It's day 23. Do you even know what's broken yet? His last comfort blanket was denial. Vaughn. It's Rowan. He's behind all of this. I've already checked, this isn't a virus, it's some damn dead hand system he rigged up. Only he can unlock it. Let's call the cops. Sue him for extortion. For sabotaging production. Call the cops? Derek shot up as if someone had stomped on his tail. If we call them now, we're basically telling the whole world our system is toast. What happens to the stock price? How do we explain it to the investor? Only now did he finally understand this couldn't be made public. Find him. Get Rowan back here, now. HR Frank was pushed forward. Trembling, he reported, "Vaughn, Rowan's number's been disconnected. WhatsApp, Slack, every channel's blocked us. Send someone to his place. Drag him back if you have to." "We went," Frank said, on the verge of tears. "It was a rental, already emptied. The landlord has no idea where he went." Derek collapsed into his chair, eyes hollow. Inside the company, panic spread. Only Dylan kept complaining without a care how the chaos meant she couldn't get her afternoon tea delivery, how finance kept stalling her rideshare reimbursements. At last, a veteran engineer who'd been with the company nearly 10 years whispered to the person beside him. "Stop wasting your breath. This is Sterling's deadhand system. I heard him mention it once. Highest level security unless you've got his biometric key, even the gods can't open it." Word traveled fast. Everyone realized the only key was in the hands of the man who had vanished without a trace. To hide his incompetence, Blake made one last idiotic decision. He ordered his team to delete the past month's operation logs, hoping to fake a ferocious external hacker assault. He didn't know that, in my system's logic, that action counted as top-tier intrusion and evidence wiping. The blood-red countdown froze. In its place came an icy, accelerating lockdown. 05. Day 29. I finished my Masai Mara safari and climbed into the car heading back to Nairobi. I'd rest for a night, then fly home. It was time. Just as I reached the hotel and was looking forward to a proper dinner, a flat screen in the lobby flashed international news. A business bulletin from the States caught my eye. Riverdale fintech giant Vaughn suffers total system outage, website and app inaccessible. Rumors claim a hacker attack may have exposed data on tens of millions of clients. Vaughn. That was the company I'd served for 10 years. The logo on the screen was unmistakable. The site was black except for a timer that had hit 0. Next came a candlestick chart, the stock opened limit down, a sickening green. Vaughn's market cap evaporated billions at the bell, multiple VC firms are rushing to pull funding. I watched Derek on the news, cornered by reporters, the once untouchable face now haggard and horrified. He screamed at the cameras, "No data breach. All rumors. We're in emergency maintenance." No one believed him. The top trend exploded, #VaughnTech meltdown. I watched calmly, then returned to my room. From a hidden suitcase pocket I took a fresh phone, slid in a new SIM, and powered it on. After nearly a month of silence, the device shrieked to life. Thousands of texts, missed calls, WhatsApp pings slammed in like a tidal wave, freezing the screen. I tossed it on the bed to let it choke them down, then took a long, hot shower. When I came out in a robe, the phone had recovered. I opened the unread messages. Most were from Derek. They began with curses, turned to questions, then panic, and ended pitiful pleas. Frank and other executives chimed in, along with coworkers I barely knew. All variations on the same theme. "Rowan, where are you? Turn your phone on. The company is dying. I'm begging you come back." In Derek's office, priceless clay teaware lay shattered on the floor. He paced like a caged animal, cursing non-stop, awash in regret. I was blind. Why'd I ever trust that little bastard Blake? Police had opened an investigation. Their conclusion devastated Derek. No virus, no outside hacker. Every byte was intact, it had simply been protectively hidden by a fiendishly elegant mechanism. Trigger: the system had gone 30 days without its top authority maintenance. Official verdict: find the original architect and have him authorize the unlock. Derek was left catatonic. 06. I didn't answer a single message. First, I opened WhatsApp and tapped the long string of voice notes Derek had sent. I hit play on speaker. "Rowan. My brother. It was all a misunderstanding. I was wrong. I didn't recognize greatness." His voice was hoarse, sobbing, nothing like the swaggering Vaughn I knew. "Come back. The company can't survive without you. Return and I'll give you shares, make you VP. Pick up. Please. You'll kill me here. Rowan. Big. I'll call you Big, okay. I listened to the farcical groveling with a blank face, then deleted every clip. Next I tapped Dylan's avatar. She'd sent dozens of texts too. Riley, where are you? Everyone's so worried. Don't mind the gala thing, Vaughn was drunk, just joking. Come back and I'll treat you to sushi. I know the best spot. After that, several heavily filtered selfies, skimpy outfit, bedroom eyes. I smirked. Took a scrolling screenshot of her entire chat, selfies included. Dropped it without a single word into an old company coworker group chat someone had sneaked me back into. The dead chat detonated instantly. WTF, did she just try the honey trap? Gross. Where was this when she snatched that 100K bonus at the gala? Sam. Absolute legend. I didn't bother reading further. Closed WhatsApp. I hadn't come for some tearful reunion. I was here to reclaim what was mine plus a little interest. In the hotel restaurant I ordered the priciest tomahawk on the menu and a bottle of top-shelf red. Savored every bite. Then booked the next flight home. Before takeoff I logged into a long-abandoned Twitter account and posted a fresh update. Location, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, Kenya. Caption, on the road, don't wait up. A single photo, the corner of my boarding pass. 07. When I rolled my suitcase out of arrivals I was startled by the spectacle. Derek had dragged the whole executive committee to the exit and stretched a garish red banner across it. Warmest welcome home to Sterling, honored to have our CTO grace us with technical guidance. Dozens of suited men stood beneath the banner with identical, awkwardly fawning smiles. Anyone would have thought some pyramid scheme cult was holding a team-building exercise. Derek spotted me first. He practically tumbled over himself, racing forward, face creased in a grin uglier than a grimace. Rowan. My brother. You're finally back. He thrust out both hands to grab mine. I kept my sunglasses on, expression blank, and nudged my cart a step sideways so he lunged at air. I pulled a handkerchief from my pocket and dabbed the back of the hand his sleeve had brushed, as if I'd touched something filthy. His smile froze. From nowhere, reporters swarmed, cameras raised like rifles. Rowan, is it true the company's crash was malicious revenge after your resignation? Are you here to fix the mess? What did Von Tech promise you? Flashbulbs popped in my face. Derek barked at security to muzzle the reporters while he kept bowing and scraping. Misunderstanding. All a misunderstanding. Sterling is our hero, back to steer the ship. I stopped, slid my sunglasses off, and met the reporter who'd shouted. First, I'm nothing more than a former employee who left in good faith. No one's maintaining the system, hardware's ancient, outages happen. Don't sling mud, my corporate counsel won't like it. Second, I'm here strictly for personal business. My relationship with Von Tech ended last month. Without waiting I pushed my cart forward. He hovered in the corner like a scolded kid, too ashamed to lift his head. Derek scurried after me, trying to wrestle my luggage. Rowan, easy, company drivers parked outside, I'll take you dash. Not necessary. I cut him off and headed for the taxi line, flagged a cab. Before climbing in I glanced back. If you want to talk, pick a cleaner venue. I don't negotiate beside a garbage dump. I slammed the door and the cab pulled away, leaving Derek and his executives pale in the cold wind. 08. Derek still tracked me to the hotel. I'd just stepped out of the shower when the doorbell rang. Through the peephole I saw his anxious face. I didn't open. He kept pounding, first a polite Rowan, open up, then a desperate Sterling, I'm begging you. Finally the 50-year-old tyrant who'd once lorded over me sank to his knees outside my room. Only then did I swing the door open. He lunged for my legs like I was a life raft. I stepped back. Speak your piece, no touching. Rowan, name your price, anything, just come save us, he sobbed upward. I leaned against the jamb, looking down. Fine. 3 conditions. I raised 3 fingers. Number 1, fire Blake. Publish an industry-wide notice detailing his resumed fraud, technical incompetence, and personal smear campaign against me. Derek's cheek twitched, but he nodded instantly. Done. I'll issue it today. Number 2, claw back Dylan's $100,000 New Year bonus and every bogus expense she claimed. Not a cent less. Yes. Easy, he agreed, almost eager. Number 3, a one-time technology consulting fee $10 million, after tax. Wire it now. Derek's eyes bulged, his jowls quivered. $10 million? He started to bargain. Rowan, we're family, Jordan Company strapped dash. I checked my watch. From this moment you have 60 minutes before the core database initiates permanent data shredding. After that, even I can't recover it. I spoke flatly. Your call bluff or reality? No. Don't. Panicking, he fumbled out his phone, barking at finance to authorize the transfer. The man who once crowed about docking me a few grand now trembled to pay $10 million for a term he couldn't even spell. I watched his humiliation with indifference, no triumph, just the cold knowledge that respect is earned, fail, and the world steps on your face. 10 minutes later my phone chimed, 10 million credited. I verified the digits, slipped on my shoes, grabbed my jacket. Let's go, Vaughn. Still kneeling, Blake lurched toward me, clutching at air. Sterling. Please spare me. I sidestepped the trash can he'd become and walked away without a backward glance. 09. When I strode back into Vontek's tech floor I was greeted like a returning hero. Every employee, hell, even people from accounting lined the corridor, applauding. A bigger spectacle than Derek's airport circus. I settled into the same battered chair I'd once sworn never to touch again. Security had already hauled Blake out, yet the room still reeked of his spineless sycophancy. An admin girl rushed over, scrubbing my desk and keyboard with wipes until the scent of lemon bleach replaced the stink. Derek hovered at my elbow, wringing his hands. Sterling, what do you need? New rig? Anything dash. No. I connected my personal laptop to the company intranet. Under the gaze of the entire engineering staff I wrote zero code. I simply launched an unfamiliar verification port. A fingerprint prompt blinked on screen. I pressed my right index finger. Beep authorized. Then I typed a 64-character key of letters, numbers, and symbols. I hit return. A miracle happened. On every screen across the company, the blood-red warning flipped to the safe green. All the locked and encrypted data snapped back to exactly what it had been. The website loaded, the app accepted logins, and client funds traded again. From the moment I sat down to the moment the crisis ended, less than 5 minutes passed. The whole tech floor fell dead silent. Everyone stared at me as if I were a god. Derek gawked, stammering, that's it? I rose from the chair and rolled my wrists. That's it. I looked him in the eye and spoke each word slowly. This is technology. Can you do it? I pointed at the monitor. If you can't, it's worth 10 million. I brushed imaginary dust from my hands and turned to leave. With the system restored, the client complaint calls stopped cold, and the next morning the company's share price miraculously halted its free fall. Derek had kept his firm alive. But the plea in his eyes had turned into a wince of pain and a glint of spite. I knew the story wasn't finished. 10. That 10 million stung Derek's pocket. The instant the emergency lifted, he started scheming to claw the money back or trip me up. He told finance and corporate to dissect our wire agreement and hunt for loopholes. He never understood me. I had seen this coming from day one. The so-called technical consulting contract had been drafted by the best corporate money could buy, it was airtight. More importantly, while I was bringing the platform back to life, I had tucked a new gift inside the code. A silent watchdog that logs every suspicious twitch in the admin dashboard. The moment Derek's newly hired engineers poked around, hoping to dig up leverage or a hidden backdoor, I mailed him a tidy dossier. I had scraped it together during the rebuild. Complete proof that Blake, while on payroll, had milked vendor kickbacks and siphoned off nearly $3 million in project funds. Bank transfers, chat screenshots, everything notarized by the server's own timestamps. Derek read it with cold sweat beading on his forehead. He realized that if I could exhume his crimes, I could exhume his. The next morning, detectives walked into the office and escorted Blake mid-resignation to a squad car for embezzlement. Von Tech also clawed back the $100,000 performance bonus it had paid Dylan. She held, threw a tantrum, and finally got dragged out by security like a stray mutt while Derek watched. Derek was now utterly alone. The company survived, but its technical heartbeat still lay in an outsider's hands, and that made his skin crawl. What broke him completely came next. I pinged the solid, honest engineers who had once reported to me. Life's too short for this circus. If you want a fresh start, come find me. That afternoon the last handful of Von Tech's real core marched upstairs and dropped their resignations on HR's desk. They wheeled their carry-ons straight to the hotel where I was staying. When Derek heard, he collapsed into his oversized executive chair, all color drained from his face. He had lost more than $10 million. He had lost the company's soul. I walked out of the lobby with my team. Outside, sunlight poured down, warm and golden on our faces. 11. That $10 million became seed money for my new venture. I opened a boutique tech studio and took every one of the core who had quit. No Derek barking orders he didn't understand, no Blake stirring politics, no Dylan polluting morale with nepotism. We worked fast, laughed loud, shipped early. Within weeks several of Von Tech's biggest clients knocked on our door. They didn't trust Derek, but they trusted my codebase. They gladly paid premium retainers to sleep peacefully at night. Deprived of its architects, Von Tech's platform sprouted glitches like weeds. With Blake in custody and the firm's reputation shredded, clients fled in droves. Half a year later Von Tech teetered on bankruptcy. Cornered, Derek sued me for monopolizing tech and unfair competition. The judge tossed every claim. Every contract I held was spotless, every client had come of their own free will. Business journals picked up the saga. In the interview I didn't brag about revenge, I talked about the value of respect. A company that refuses to respect engineering will, in the end, be abandoned by it. The quote became a rallying cry across the valley. Thousands of engineers spammed my feed, hailing me as Alex. As for the villains, his embezzlement earned him real prison years. Dylan, stripped of her protector and her bonus, ended up answering phones for a small time, surviving on looks alone. One afternoon I spotted Derek on a street corner. Gray had swallowed his hair, his back was bent, and he was bowing to some small time, pitching some shabby product. When he noticed me, he flinched, spun away, and disappeared into the crowd. I kept walking, no insult, no smile. We already lived in different universes. 12. 6 months later. My new shop landed a visionary product, and top-tier VC lined up. Our IPO was a formality away. I rewarded myself with another break. Destination, Africa, same endless Masai Mara. But this time I wasn't alone. I brought the whole core for safari team building. We sat in open-top Land Cruisers, watching a pride lounge in the sunset haze. Same grassland, same me. State of mind, unrecognizably lighter. Last trip, I'd come to hide and forget. This trip, we came to toast the future. My phone buzzed, my assistant confirming our first equity dividend wired to every teammate's account. The number dwarfed Derek's $10 million payoff. I powered the phone off and slipped it back into my pocket. Wind carried the scent of wild sage across the plains. Safari pointed to the Alpha resting in the distance. Out here, power is everything. I smiled. Technology is my power. My armor, my compass, my hard-won peace. I looked at the laughing faces beside me, then at the riot of color bleeding across the sky, and felt nothing but quiet satisfaction. Quinn, we still have roads to build. But the rancid arena that once tried to own me? Emery I have already walked away.